Grown Big with Steve Bartylla. Brought to you by Huntworth and these other fine sponsors.
I talk an awful lot about how near zero impact stand sites, well, they just don't happen by accident. Okay, they don't happen naturally very often at all. If you're going to go ahead and pick up a 500-acre property, you'll be lucky. You'll be lucky if there's one naturally low impact, high odds setup on that entire place. Thankfully, that's where habitat improvement really earns its weight. We can design this stuff, but how do you do it? As I've said many times, the first thing I do on a property, once I actually have boots on the ground, is I am looking for the locations I can access and get out of safely. That is my number one goal to start with. Step one is simply coming up with a list of areas that I can access, hunt, and get out of by educating as few deer as humanly possible. That means that the wind direction for each has to line up. Now, your entrance and exit does not have to be the same. You can go ahead and enter one way and exit another, but the wind for all three of those, your entrance, your stand, and your exit, has to be the same. In that, when I have a northwest wind, I can do this. When I have a west wind, I can do the southwest wind, I can't pull it off with. We need to locate those areas. So what are we looking for? We're looking for roads. We can access that entire side. Now, utilizing that road is a great way. We know that if we've got a road running on the north side of our property, making up our north boundary, if we've got a south wind, we can go ahead and get just barely 20, 40, 60 yards into the woods off of that north road. So then we've got a creek going through the property. Okay, a creek that we can go ahead and walk that creek, no problem. One side is void of deer activity, okay, which is often the case. Very often, we have timber on one side, wide open on the other. That, when the wind is blowing into the wide open, very often that is safe access. Then we look at field roads, drainages, those erosion cuts coming down. Very often you can sneak up that. Now a safe wind, that's tough. So that you're looking at more for an AM. When the thermals are lifting, you're sent up anyway and out of there. Moral of the story is look for every creative access and departure route we can come up with on that property. Roads, water features, worst case, our fence line. Now, very often deer are coming off of the neighbors onto ours, but what we really want is we want to train these resident whitetails that our property is safe. When our wind is blowing into the neighbor's property and not into ours, in a weird way, I mean, that's not ideal, but it is way better than that wind blowing into our property. The more we go ahead and put the upfront work into figuring out where we can access to, hunt safely, and get out of, then we go ahead and we pick the ones that make the most sense, and we manufacture stand sites there by creating staging plots and such. Okay, that approach is what allows me to create near zero impact, yet high odds stands.
Final thoughts, brought to you by Huntworth.
High odds, low impact stands just do not happen much naturally out there at all. But thankfully, if we know what we're looking for, we start by looking for where we can access, hunt, and get out of safely, with the wind working in each case. Once we build up a list of those locations, we go ahead and select the ones that make the most sense, improve those, and just that quick, we have a low impact, high odds hunting on our grounds.